Or shall we talk about, or shall we go on where we left off?
Can we continue from where we left off?
What's that?
Can we continue from where we left off, sir?
Where did we leave off? I've forgotten.
Well, I think we had come to a point where we saw that there was a center that we were looking from, and that this center was in fact the past.
Oh yes. So do all these discussions that we have here, do they really help? Would you kindly be frank with me? Do they really help to clarify our minds more, or do they get more confused?
They certainly point to something.
One may point to something, but are we getting a bit more or much more clear about all this, what Brockwood is, what should happen here, and with regard to the place of knowledge, thought, and all that? Does it all? Has it any place in our daily life? I'm sorry, you're next to me.
You mean we go round and round in the same circle every time? We just touch on a point of significance and stop there.
I like,
sir, go again.
Say for instance, you and I were discussing, suppose you and I were discussing, we would get to a certain point in ourselves. We would see clearly our daily life, what we are doing, whether we're slack, whether we are lack of discipline, lack of, the whole circle of confusion. And does that confusion get more and more, disappears, or it continues, the confusion? So that we are never sure of anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. When we get to that point, we don't usually stay there.
Yes.
And
either we don't stay.
Again.
Yes. Either we don't stay there, or we wander off to something.
We get to a certain point at a certain level, but we don't stay at that level.
Stay or go beyond.
Or go on beyond.
Yeah. I'm just asking. Harsha raised a point, which is, if I remember rightly, what we were talking about on Saturday, on the last time we met, that we're always looking at life with the past. Past memories, past experience, remembrance, incidents, all the rest of it. And we said too, if I remember rightly, that thought itself is the past, of course. And so thought is always operating from a center which is essentially the storehouse of knowledge of the past. Right? Now, does that storehouse empty itself as we talk, or we are adding to it? You follow me? Won't you join us, please?
I think it empties it for the time being, or it begins to empty it for the time being.
Then it fills up again.
It tends to
like
fill
a
up
spring.
again. Tends to fill up again, and the dialogue is not sustained in your absence.
Why? This was a question that was raised by Rajesh and Mr. Thomas yesterday in our discussion about the school, the Rishi Valley School, that someone like K or X sustains it and then gradually peters out and has to keep pumping. Is that what is happening here? In all of us. That we have, all of us have a push. There is no comprehensive, vital energy in itself. Would you join us, please? Not the conversation between us two.
It seems that when we engage, even in these discussions, I say we, I suppose I'm talking about myself, that I'm not putting into it as much as, say, you are, and in a sense, I'm getting pulled along by your own clarity and your own energy, and that the clarity that one feels or one sees is somehow, it's not quite enough to sustain itself.
All right, sir. If that is so, what shall we do?
Well, it seems that, for instance, you talk about the amount that we talk. You know, we have a discussion like this. Does it add to our clarity, or does it add to the confusion? I would say that it adds to the clarity, but not in a complete enough way. Somehow, the way we engage in discussion is not adequate to have a clarity that will last.
Is it clarity? I just want to introduce a word, vision.
Vision.
Not visual only, vision, having a vision. I suppose I have a vision what Brockwood or Rishi Valley should be. Vision. And that vision itself gives me tremendous capacity and energy. Not artificial energy, not energy that's been pumped up each time. You follow it?
Krishnaji, may I use another example?
Huh?
May I ask about another example of clarity, which is perhaps more relevant to what we began talking about? For instance, last week we talked about the past, that we live through the past, that creates conflict, etc. As we discuss it, as we listen, and we look at these things, a certain clarity in something like that appears. But then over the week, that kind of clarity is the one that disappears.
Fades.
Not some clarity about what the ultimate aim of Brockwood is, but even clarity of something which is as small as that is something that dissipates.
So isn't clarity the word we use to describe when we're seeing something as it is?
Yes.
I see you're talking about a clarity, if you have a vision that you want to create something and you work towards and so on, you have a vision or something, and that gives you a feeling of clarity.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's altogether useful.
Artificial, you mean?
Yes, I think it's important to have clarity to see of what is actually going on.
Why don't we have it? That's all my point.
Yes.
I think we're all involved in our own little worlds that we've created.
We say that, and keep on going in our little world. We don't break through it.
No, I think that's right.
Why?
I wonder if we don't become very clever intellectually and be able to discuss these things intellectually, but in some ways, I feel
You make a statement. You make a statement of that kind. Are you intellectually clever?
Yes.
Just projecting intellectual concepts and ideas and so on?
I feel that. I feel dull sometimes in terms of, I don't really feel these things as much as I say them.
I think the need, Krishnaji, is that for most of us, clarity is not a thing that one has definitively, once and forever. It needs rediscovery. And I think there seems to be some block about exploring matters of this kind, deeper matters, within a group, not a group of this size, but even just the staff meeting. There's a block or difficulty about exploring matters of significance within that group.
So what should we do?
But isn't the block really in oneself? It's not really in the group. It's the block is within oneself.
Yes,
it's that block that is projected in the group.
Is it?
Well, if I'm clear, then there's no problem.
Yeah, but there are problems, you see.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Are the problems blocking clarity, or when there is clarity, you can solve problems, not the other way around?
But there isn't clarity.
You
see,
follow
that's
what I mean?
Theoretical position. That's a theoretical position because there isn't clarity.
So what are we talking about all the time then?
So I think what Steve is saying, and I'd rather back him up on this, that if, say, a group of us said, now look, we want to get together and look into these things together in a discussion group, then some people will come along and say, look, how can you discuss together? None of you are clear. You're just going to get into deeper water, more confusion. You're all intellectual.
So what do we do then? So we stop?
Well, I think that... we do attempt to say, look, can't we begin? Can't we begin? All right, we may be a little confused in that we look at things intellectually, but can't we begin from that point and see if we can sort these things
suppose, I'm not saying, suppose Mrs. Simonson, we die, we don't exist tomorrow. What will you do? What is you follow what I'm asking? Would you answer that question? Where is your spring from which you are at? Or, you understand what we are not there. Then what will you all do? Don't let's talk about clarity and self and all the rest of it. Here is a definite, concrete problem which you have to face.
Well, as it stands today...
not today, we are gone.
But Krishnaji, as it stands today, we have our differences and our conflicts which we're not able to deal with. So tomorrow, if you were not here, then we would be in confusion.
So what will you do?
But despite these differences and conflicts, we do manage to work together, otherwise there wouldn't be any Brookwood.
So then what are we, that's what I want to get at. What is it we're talking about?
You asked the question really just now, would we be able to continue if you weren't here?
No, not continue, but make it flower, grow, response. You follow the whole implications of it. Not that you are not doing now, I'm not questioning it.
We were talking about the ability to see things clearly, and we were talking about how it was difficult in a group, and there was a sort of criticism or objection to the idea of such a big number. But in my experience, on a one-to-one with another person, it's also extremely difficult. and I think it's also difficult to see clearly in oneself. So I don't think it's really a question of numbers. I think the question is just how to see clearly.
Yes.
So I feel it seems to be the trouble, I feel, is to observe oneself daily, all the time, in a very accurate way, in a very honest way, to really observe what's going on. It's very difficult.
As he points out, sir, it is oneself. It's not a group, or it is oneself. Now, could we discuss that and really, as we go along, really understand? Huh? What's that?
Surely the group is important in this, Christian G, because
he doesn't deny group.
In some sense, that it is the group. In some sense, it's the group that acts. And if in this hypothetical situation where you're not here, Dorothy is not here, it would be the group who were responsible for it.
Yes.
Right? There's no K. There's no, it would be the group that would be responsible. So it depends, in a sense, on the clarity of the group is important.
But the clarity of the group is made of separate persons,
yes,
separate people, each with his own peculiarity, idiosyncrasy. I'm not insulting them. I'm saying these prejudices and so on.
Unless the individual is clear, the group can never be clear.
What?
I mean, one has to begin with the individual. You can't begin with the group, really.
Well, that raises the question of what an individual is, but apart from that, it's fairly clear that unless a group of people have worked together fairly seriously for a time, they don't have this kind of clarity.
Are you suggesting that the clarity could come through the group?
I'm saying the group is a necessary medium, or it is not a necessary medium, it is a medium.
Could we drop the word clarity for the moment? And find out if there is a deep change in all of us taking place. A flowering, you understand what I'm talking? Could we discuss that? Would it be profitable? Please.
This actually has to happen before we can go on anywhere.
Yes, sir. So I'm just asking, shall we go into that? And as we go step by step into it, drop, you follow? Move. Not hold on. Could we do that this afternoon? We've got an hour. Could we go into this step by step till we completely understand each step? Could we? Would it be worthwhile? Don't agree with me, it doesn't matter. What do you say? Please, don't. It's a silent group, this.
Can you teach someone else to plough, sir?
No, but in exploring, in digging the well, water comes out.
One mustn't start it as me coming along to be told by you how to plough. It's not like that.
No, I'm saying, could we discuss, let me put it the other way, how to delve into ourselves, if that is preferable. That word, delve, dig, penetrate this heavy confusion and get deep into it.
Don't we just have to start?
I'm
rather than decide how to start or where to start.
I'm asking you, sir, shall we do it together?
Yes.
No, but that means all of us are taking part in it, not just silent and listen. Right? You see, what am I to do?
So, do you think there's a problem there? There are a lot of things which are very difficult to put it verbally, and that when you do say them, you just immediately feel ridiculous. I mean, not that you're ashamed, but it's just you haven't put into words what's going on inside.
Yes, sir. Look, sir. I want to understand this whole problem of existence. I want to understand whether that existence can ever be changed, or it must always go on the same pattern, repeated over and over again. Right? That's a simple question. Could we discuss that? Huh? Won't you join? Please, shall we discuss that?
I see myself being influenced by endless different things. It changes all the time, and yet it's going in repeating patterns. Where to move from with clarity? I mean, and yet when there is clarity, that's a whole different movement.
What happens when we see that? If you see yourself being influenced by something, what happens when you see that clearly? It's maybe a little bit of clarity in that moment. Doesn't that change that?
Yes, there's a moment's space, yes, and then a new influence comes, and maybe it's seen, maybe it isn't. And then there's another space, and then it's sort of...
But isn't there some relationship, or doesn't the clarity move, not just be isolated instances? Doesn't clarity, even in a small portion of it, make for greater clarity if it's allowed to? It's not cut off.
I should have thought so, but you see, Maria, I would like to start this discussion as though I knew nothing, right? And I start learning from there. Could we start like that?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
I know nothing about myself, but I watch the world. Let's do it together, please. I watch the world with all the horrors that are going on there. And I ask, what is my relationship to it? Because I want to understand. I want to have a life that is real, not artificial. Right? I want a life that is, and that has depth, that has meaning, that is not just artificially intellectual, just mere knowledge operating. I want to find out. So I see the world. And I see what's happening there. I see exactly that thought is operating at all levels, right? Could we go into that? Is that true, Mike? Huh? Right? Right, sir? Will you join me? Do it, sir. Do it with me, please. Thought is in operation. And I see what thought has done in the world. Scientific, marvelous surgeons, communication, architecture. I see all that is happening, right? Division of races, classes, religions, and so on, so on, so on. I ask myself, what's the cause of all this? Please, you're joining me or you just... I'm investigating myself and the world. Right, sir? Right? What's the cause of all this? The psychiatrists give one reason, right? The so-called religious people give one reason. The original sin and all the rest of it. And the scientists, the origin of man, how you began and so on. So I'm lost among all these professions, right? Right? Would you agree? I don't. So I've left, I can't rely on anybody, right? Do we go as far as that? I can't rely on anybody. The professors, the saints, the scholars, the scientists, all that group. So on what am I to rely on?
Well,
on myself?
Yes, I'm implying that I'm the same as that, aren't
Ah,
I?
I'm just moving away. I don't want to enter that for the moment.
Otherwise there wouldn't be a correlation, otherwise I couldn't do it.
Now I'm asking, I know. On whom am I to rely to have understanding of this monstrous life? Right?
Well, the evidence is everywhere, isn't it?
It's everywhere. In India, in America, in Japan, in Russia, everywhere it's the same. And whom am I to say, please give me some understanding of all this?
Then why should you ask somebody else?
No, I can't. I'm asking. And I find that they're all caught in the same mess, like me.
Yeah.
They may be professors, they may be sane, they may be scholars, psychiatrists, but they have miserable life. You follow?
Yeah.
So I say, they're like me. So I can't go stretch my hand out to them and say, please give me something.
But then I can't rely on myself either.
What?
I can't rely on myself either.
Wait. You see, you have jumped already else. So, on whom am I to rely to find out some clarity, some understanding, some depth to all this? Right?
If one feels that there's no professor, there's no person that one can rely on, I think one should also naturally apply it to oneself. Well, yeah. I've got to watch myself as well.
No, which means what? Can I rely upon myself?
I've got to watch it because...
Wait, listen, question it first.
Right.
Can I rely on myself?
But I think one cannot rely on oneself if one is not relying on somebody else. I mean...
Look, I can't rely on Professor Einstein. He may be very clever, he's good and all that, but his life is probably confused as mine.
Yes.
Private life, but not public. So I say, all right, I can't rely on you, so I can't. Can I rely on myself? Investigate it, sir. Investigate it. Don't jump to say you can't. Look at it.
Yeah. I think it's within oneself that one has to find out.
You are not.
No?
Actually, I don't think you know whether you can rely on yourself or not. One doesn't know whether one can oneself or not, that's something one has to find out, surely.
So we are going to find out.
Yes.
But I think one doesn't know, actually.
Huh?
I think one doesn't know to begin with.
Oh, is that it?
Well, Krishnaji, the way we use the word ourselves is ambiguous.
No, I'm saying myself, and not ourselves.
Well, I mean, me, the past, and all of the,
Look, no, I'm not.
the
I said
experience
to
is that I can't rely on myself at all.
Scott, I'm telling you, I'm starting from the very beginning, as though I knew nothing about all this stuff. And I realize I cannot rely on another, and I can't rely on my own understanding, right? I don't know if I'm conveying what I want to, I'm not sure. I can't, I am like them, right?
We have to question ourselves, our soul.
No, I am like them. I realize, that's the first thing I realize. I am like them. They're married 10 times, children, quarrels, divorce, all the rest of it. I'm just like them. Right? So, what am I to do with what I have? Tell me, tell me what am I to do with what I have, what I am.
When you look at it, I mean, it's like you see this thing in you that's like taller than that tower up there.
Sir, I'm not talking about the clouds. I'm talking about myself. I'm in confusion.
Right, but that's when you look and you say, well, how do I go into this then?
I'm doing it now.
Well, I'm going into it, but then I don't. But it seems that everything, even if I dismiss the psychiatrists and the priests and all that, everything. I'm looking in my own head. Everything I come up to is this.
No, you see, I see the conflict in the world and conflict in myself.
That's all.
And that's a unitary process.
Yeah. Wait, I understand. That's a theory. I don't want theories.
Well, it must be the same.
I don't want, that's your conclusion, because somebody or you have thought it out. Is it a fact in my life when I say there is confusion there, and there's confusion here?
Well, could there be two confusions?
No. So it may be one confusion. Right? Right? It is confusion. I am confused. Mr. Einstein, Mr. Thingamabob, their private life, they're all confused. Right? Could we start from there? Right?
Why we bother with to identify the others as confused?
No, sir. I'm not identifying anything with others. I'm just saying people are confused. Like me.
But can we be positive? We can be positive, we're confused. I can be positive, I'm confused.
What are you talking about, sir?
I don't see the significance in you began by saying we should look.
People are confused all over the world. Like me.
Okay.
That's all. Right? Now, what am I to do with this confusion? How am I to, my question is, I'm asking myself, how am I to clear this confusion?
It seems if one tries to clear it, then one gets more confused. If one starts trying to clear the confusion, then you start adding to it.
No, I'm going to find out.
Well, Krishnaji, the first question that comes to mind is that one asks, can there be anything other than this confusion?
What?
Well, if we look at the world and everybody's confused and we're confused as well, then we ask, can there be anything other than this confusion?
We're going to find out. You can ask the question, but nobody will answer it. But I can find out. I can dig, I can inquire, I can push. What is the problem? I don't quite understand.
You're implying there's one answer to it, though.
Huh?
Are you implying there's only one answer?
I'm going to find out, sir.
Yeah, we're trying to find out. And for myself, this state of confusion doesn't have one answer. You can't find out and snap, there's your answer.
I may
it
find...
has to be constant.
I'm going to find out. I'm not going to say it's constant, it has to be permanent, it has to be continuous or instantaneous. I'm going to find out.
And that's what we seem to be doing.
Are we?
Constantly trying to find out.
Therefore, don't make any statement. Let's inquire. Right, sir? What do you say to this?
So we look at it when we are confused.
There's only one question now of the confusion. We don't have to ask any questions about the confusion.
Yeah, no.
We've got one question.
Your own question. I'm confused. And I say, I can't live with that. I'm not going to live with it. Right? I want to clear it, be free of it. Are we in that position? Step by step I'm going. I don't know who is confused, who is not, all the rest of it. I say I am in confusion, and the world is confusion, and I feel it's my life that I must clarify this confusion. I give my life to that clarification. Right? Are we in that position?
But Krishanji...
Wait, sir, I'm asking a question. Are we in that position? Or we want to tinker with it, play with it?
Or is it perhaps that we want to get away from...
It doesn't matter. I want to clear up that confusion at any price. My wife says, my husband, my father, I want this confusion destroyed or evaporate somehow. I'll give my life to clarify that. Are we in that position? Or we tolerate this confusion. And we talk about clarity, we talk about all kinds of nonsensical, superficial stuff, but I'm asking this question, do you really, each one of us, intensely want to dispel this confusion?
So, if I may say, if you already say that you want to dispel the confusion, you have some degree of clarity.
No, I don't know I want to dispel it. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to do. You people, I'm inquiring. Mm-hmm. Right? Are you doing it with me?
Go on.
Actually, I'll go on if you'll all come with me. So, I'm confused. My intent, my urge is to be free of that confusion. So, now what makes for confusion? Right? I'm going to step. Why do I say I'm confused? Right? That's my question. Stick to that question. What makes me say I'm confused? Is it by comparison?
I've got used to other people living my life for me.
Is it by saying somebody says there is clarity and I compare myself with that clarity and therefore I'm confused?
Isn't the first intimation conflict?
So conflict is the essence of confusion. Right? Would you agree to that? Huh? Oh my God. Please, we are moving. What am I doing? Are you agreeing to this? If I have no conflict, I'm free. There's no confusion. Are you all getting bored with this?
It seems there are two things.
Huh?
There's being in the present where there is, you accept what is, and there's
Which
no
is,
conflict.
I am accepting. I say I'm confused. I ask myself, why am I confused? What makes me say I'm confused?
The confusion shows when there are different directions that have to or different influences.
Then you're in a state
Then you're in a state of conflict. But the present moment doesn't necessarily, that doesn't appear.
The moment something hurts, we pay attention. The moment we're in conflict, it hurts. Therefore, we want to change it or do something about it.
Look, I am not trying to change. I am not trying to do anything. I say I have found out something. Found out. I am confused because I feel conflict to be the nature of confusion. That's all I'm saying. Right? Would you agree to that? Huh?
Yes.
Would you agree? No, not agree. Act. See that.
We're saying this is a general statement which covers very widespread.
I know it does, but I'm beginning slowly. I say I'm confused because I'm really in conflict with myself, with the world. You follow? And that may be the cause of it. I'm not saying it is. I'm investigating. Right? So if that is one of the causes, I say, or factors, then I say, what is conflict? You follow? Are you with me there?
Well, by definition, it's one side against another.
No, not definition. I want inside.
Well, you are divided against yourself.
That's what is conflict?
Well, I think you have these competing desires. You want one thing, and then you want another thing, and you want them both.
Yes. So what does that mean?
Deny each other.
Conflicts exist. What? You see, you don't even inquire. You make statements. You don't inquire. That's what I'm objecting to.
There seems to be a comparison, and then this is a feedback of this comparison. So that's to its
Why are you in conflict, Shakuntalaji? Shakuntalaji, why are you in conflict? You are in conflict, aren't you? Huh?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, thank God you speak. Why? What's the cause of it? You see, you can't.
Well, I can see I have various.
Huh?
I'm being pulled in various directions.
So you're saying the cause of this confusion is what? Investigate, lady, please.
Yes, I'm saying that the cause of the confusion is because I'm being pulled in various directions.
What are the directions?
Contradictory
Which
directions.
Is that so? That you have learned, seen for yourself where there is contradiction, there must be conflict, and conflict means confusion, right? Huh? Now, don't agree with me. We are investigating, lady, please. I'm investigating into myself. I'm in confusion. I want to say, why do I live in this confusion? Is it a habit? Is it my mind is so dull that I tolerate confusion? And so I begin to inquire why I accept it, or what is the cause of this thing.
I don't think one tolerates confusion.
Huh?
I don't think one tolerates confusion because, it's not something that's very comfortable.
But you live in that. You lived it for 40 years. So you tolerate it, however uncomfortable it is.
Well, I don't quite tolerate it. I think I fight it.
Huh?
I think I fight it rather than tolerate it.
So you have found out something, that when you fight something, it still goes on. You see, you don't investigate, you make statements and stop there. So, I've seen one thing, I fight it. I say I mustn't be confused. There must be no contradiction. So I fight. Right? That may be the cause of conflict and confusion. Therefore, I say, I'm going to learn, I'm going to investigate, I'm going to push. I'm doing this. Are you doing this with me, or you are just...
Sir, I just don't see why, when we say things, you say we're just making statements. Because this is how normally people talk. And they say, this is happening.
Look, sir, I want to find out what's the cause of this confusion. I see in myself a life in contradiction, right? Right? In contradiction. Have we gone so far together, right? Then what is contradiction? Saying one thing, doing another, right?
Or saying two different things.
Wanting this and not wanting that.
It's also wanting and not being able to have it.
Yes.
And most of us live in that position.
So, what is the meaning of contradiction? Would I be satisfied if I had everything I want? I wonder if you're following on me.
Well, is it the wanting itself that inevitably brings it?
I want to go step by step, Maria. I'm not going to move out of this.
No, Krishnji, I wouldn't be satisfied if I had everything I wanted.
So what is the cause of this contradiction in me? Is it desire? Is it the conditioning that my society, my culture, my parents have conditioned my mind to accept this conditioning, to accept this conflict, tolerate it, and gradually keep dying with the conflict? Or is it that I'm incapable of resolving it? You follow all this? So I say, I don't know a thing about this, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to move step by step so that there'll be no deception at all. Right? Could we do that?
A problem I see rises up in that, and when I say I'm going to resolve it somehow, or I want to go into it, that I have a stake in it in a sense, and that because it's for me to resolve that conflict, and I can't be objective about it. I'm going
to learn. Mm-hmm. I can't say I can't be objective. I'm going to learn.
Okay, that's impossible.
I'm going to learn whether I'm objective or not. So I'm going to say to him, I'm asking myself, still, what's the cause of the... I found the cause is contradiction. Right? Right? I have found also, I'm trying to approximate what I am with what I should be. Is that it? Huh? Go on, please.
I think that's a very big part of it.
What?
I think that's a very big part of it because when I see, I'm in confusion.
I'm investigating. Don't investigate.
That's part of it.
That's part of it. That I have ideals and I'm trying to live up to it, which is approximating myself with something greater than myself. And so there is conflict. Is it my physical condition that makes for confusion? You understand? My ill health, my lack of... You follow? All that. Is that it? And is it desire? I'm examining. I must find out the root of it. Right?
So, unless you're very ill, it's unlikely to be the body, I would suggest.
What?
Unless you're very ill, it's unlikely to be the
Therefore,
body.
I can eliminate that. So, but I've left certain things. Approximation, contradiction, and is it desire for this opposed to that?
So isn't desire back of the approximation?
Yes, I don't want too quickly to put it all in one basket. That's what.
Well, isn't desire back of that one?
So, is approximation with what I should be, is it part of desire?
Yes.
I find out yes. So I say, what? Are you doing this with me or are you just silent? Are you?
I'm wondering how I know what I should be.
What?
How I know what I should be. I have an idea what I should be.
That's what I'm saying. And you have an idea what you should be, and you're trying to approximate yourself, compare yourself with what you should be.
And I'm wondering where that comes from. I mean, how do I know what I should be? I mean,
What do you mean, how do you know?
If you have the approximation, you wouldn't have it if you didn't want it, would you? I mean,
approximation?
Well, if you had an idea of what you should be, you wouldn't have that idea if you didn't want to get it or become it. Wouldn't attract you.
Right.
So isn't that again desire?
But I wonder where it comes from that one has an idea of what they should be.
I'll tell you. I will tell you. I am this, right? But I never say I am this and stay there. Right?
So it's not even that there's something specific I want to be, it's just I don't want to be this. I don't want to be
So I am incapable of looking the fact that I'm angry. Look at it. But I want to operate and I want to change it. I want to become something else. Could we go on from there? Or is it, huh? What do you say, sir?
Well, it's obvious that we've learned to moderate some of these things.
Yes,
like greed, like
don't
anger.
moderate. Let us investigate and change the damn thing. Not keep on repeating that we moderate, we are confused, we don't know, I know, we are a little bit this, little bit, and keep on repeating this.
When you actually start looking at it like this, it isn't there.
What?
When you actually start looking at it,
I'm going to find out. You say that. Is that so? I want to see if that's a fact. Not your illusion or my illusion.
There's enough of the fact for not to be able to answer any questions about it or say anything about it, but it comes back, so it doesn't complicate it.
Look, I realize, I see the fact, not my imagination, that where there is contradiction, there must be conflict. Right? I am in contradiction. I want this and I want that. Opposing elements, right? And I say, why? What is the cause of that? Is it desire? And then I begin to investigate what is desire. Because my whole concern is to be free of confusion. So I must, you understand? You people on? Are you with me? Mm-hmm. So what is desire? I must be absolutely clear on that point, because that may be the root of this. Right? Would you agree?
Do I have to put a word to it? I can feel something, but I don't want to...
No, we're going to find out. I mean, what is desire? We are inquiring into the nature of desire.
So one might say that desire is quite straightforward. If one desires to have something and one works towards to get something.
But when you work towards it, what happens?
Well, it can be no problem.
No, wait, it can't, it is.
Well, if you want...
You are married, your wife wants something else.
Uh-huh. Well, that's where the problem begins, is when...
So that's a contradiction.
When there's another desire involved as well, yes. When there's one desire, I think it's all right. I mean...
Oh, no.
When you want the same thing, there's no conflict.
Yes, when you want the same thing.
When we all want the same thing, there will be no problem.
That's right. Yes.
But I don't want it the same way as you do. I want it slightly modified. Right? I think mine is better than yours. And you are unwilling to let go.
Yeah. So Krishnaji, what you were saying before doesn't make a great deal of sense to me, that if we all had the same exact desire, then there would be no conflict and no confusion.
I don't say that. He says that.
Oh. I thought you said that.
I was saying, if you have a simple idea that you would desire to get to the top of the tower, you can go and do it. But if you're stopped in the way,
lots of people are going to stop in the way. You climbing the ladder. You see, you are not. Let's go into it step by step. So I'm asking, what is desire? Is that the root of this conflict?
So is the element of rejection of things as they are? I reject the way I am, or the way the weather is, or whatever it is, and that makes me want something different.
You make a rule here, go to bed at 9:30, put on the lights at 9:30. And I am a student or a teacher, I don't want to turn off the light at 9:30. So there is conflict. What is the difficulty? They understand this.
Well, Krishnaji, the difficulty might be in the nature of desire, at least from my understanding. If a person, let's say that I feel that it's much better for the student if the light is out at 9:30, and the student feels that for his own well-being, it's not desire, it's just that that's not the best thing. There's still conflict.
So let's
involved.
find out what's the best thing.
Yes, but there's still conflict without necessarily desire being involved.
Oh, yes.
But it's not so much that I want, it's just that one says, well, the best thing for you is to have the light out.
I'm sorry, I didn't, sir, don't bring it to that. Wait, let's understand. I am investigating into myself, not the student, not anybody. I'm investigating into myself why there is conflict in me. I want to totally eliminate it. I won't have it. I want to find out. Because it destroys the mind. I don't know if you've gone into it. Destroys the mind. And so on, so on. So I say to myself, I must absolutely find out the causes of it and be free of this confusion.
Do you say it destroys the mind, sir, because it's a waste of energy? Because it's not...
Yes. Conflict is a waste of energy.
So there seems to be a gap between the situation one is in and the way one desires it to be. There's some kind
That's a conflict.
Well, it's much more wastage of energy. It's doing physical damage. One can feel the tensions and the...
Of course, heart failure and all the rest of it. So, I say now, I've come to the point, I say, am I approximating with what I am, with what I should be? The should be is the ideal, the belief, the faith, the pattern I should imitate, conform to. And that may be one of the causes of conflict. Am I caught in that? Am I caught in this cycle? That I am this, I should be that. Expanded that and largely. Am I caught in that? I am. Now wait a minute. Why am I caught in it? Go on, tell me. Why am I caught in it? Investigating. Because I don't like what I see. I'm putting it very simply. I don't like what I see. Right?
Isn't it also that I like what I see?
What?
I like that image also.
You may. Then you have no problem. I like what I see, therefore I'm satisfied with it.
No,
and I'm not in conflict.
Isn't it that you see the ideal, the thing you want to be, but you also you're rooted in some way in pleasure in the way you are now? It's too difficult or too demanding to change to that ideal.
That's my point. Let's see. Is it I'm incapable of looking what I am? Which means I'm dissatisfied with what I see in myself. Right? Would you go, Sep? So, being dissatisfied, I say I must be satisfied by that. Right?
Or I must get away from what I am.
Yes.
Huh?
Rather than I must get away from what I am.
Yes, that's it. So conflict begins. I am this, but I run away from it. But that thing pursues me all the time. Right? I may run away to God, I may run away to drink, I may run away to all kinds of escapes. But it's still there. No? So I say to myself, for God's sake, don't escape. It's futile to escape. Because I've got a cancer and I can't escape from it. Let me look at it. For God's sake, let me look at it. I won't escape. I won't suppress it. I won't try and transform it. I just see what I am. Have we come to that point?
I find it quite difficult because there's all the time one's trying to move.
But if you see escape doesn't solve the problem, I won't escape. Because my intention is to be free of confusion.
The habit is very, very strong.
Huh?
The habit is very strong.
So, all right, it's a habit. Then break it. Let's find out if I can't break it. See, you make a statement and keep on repeating it. I'm sorry, I'm not being impatient or rude to you personally, but this is what's happening all the time.
Krishnaji, this staying with it, can we talk about that?
I'm doing it. I won't escape from what actually is going on with me inside, which is, am I approximating myself with what I should be? Am I? Are you? Right?
Yes.
I think there's a difficulty over here. You say stay with it.
No, I said, first of all, am I approximating myself with what I should be? The should be can be expanded. Ideals, faith, all that. So, am I doing that?
I think that's quite clear.
Huh?
I think that's quite clear.
But am I doing it? The explanation may be clear. The words may be clear. But am I actually doing this? Approximating myself all the time. See, if that is not understood, broken, we'll repeat it.
So one has to actually feel that.
Huh?
One has actually to feel that.
See it, sir. I'm violent. And I am saying to myself, by Joe, I must not be violent. Right? That is measuring my violence with non-violence. Right? So that measurement is perhaps the cause of conflict. So I say, please, I won't measure. I am violent. Let me look at it. Right? Have you gone that far?
So, are you saying that to be dissatisfied with yourself?
I am not saying dissatisfied. Can I look at what I have? Which is, I am violent. I am approximating myself. I am contradicting myself. I say one thing and do something else. Think one thing and act another way. Right? Am I aware of this?
But if I am what I'm with and I'm under endless influences
and
I change all the time,
I don't know what
certain influences appear to. Does one walk away from conflict in that sense? Or
Madam, I'm talking of being in conflict in myself. And what is the cause of that conflict? I want to find out. Because that conflict may be the cause of confusion.
I understand that.
So, am I doing this? Approximately, judging, measuring. I am this today, I am angry, but I will be less angry day after tomorrow. Or so on, measurement.
Well, one does that, but one always comes to a dead end.
What dead?
Well, when you try to escape or approximate and you realize you're not getting anywhere, then you come back to the
So,
conflict.
what happens? That's not dead end. Why do you call it dead end?
No, I'm saying approximating is the dead end.
And so you come back.
Yes.
Which means you have not escaped. Please stick to it and do it. You're not escaping. You're not suppressing, you are that. Right? Are you doing it? how can we go further if you don't do these things?
Krishnji, what do you mean then by saying we don't do these things?
It's a Busk Gordon Russell. Furniture. Huh? Huh? Do you want to go? Yeah, please.
Hasn't one in the inquiry already begun to get an inkling that one's psychological security is in danger by this inquiry and one backs away?
That's just what I'm coming to. Gradually I'm discovering this.
Yes.
Not only that, but see, sir, step by step you get into the depth of it, you follow? Not just make statements. I realize I'm a problem, so I'm going to stop approximating. And I watch. If I escape, I say, come back, old boy. Right?
But my whole movement in life up to this moment has been to achieve psychological security.
I know, but yes, but that may be because I'm also lonely. You follow? I can't live without you. I must have you. You know all the problems. So I'm going step by step into it. Is my mind free completely from approximation? You follow? Not a little bit here and a little bit there. Totally free of all approximation. You see?
Can we say that this inquiry has got to have more importance than my psychological security?
Yes, sir. Then you can penetrate your psychological security. Break through it. But if that is not clear, that is, conflict causes confusion. That's a law, like an engineer. It's a law. So if I say, well, I accept confusion, I accept conflict, it's all right. But if you say, look, if I say to myself, conflict and confusion destroy the mind. You follow, sir? Destroy the brain activity. Its fullest capacity. So I say, I'm not going to live like that. So I begin to inquire. I may end up in a lunatic asylum or somewhere, but I'm not going to live like that. So I must go into this very, very carefully. Right? Huh? Or do we come back, when I come back next year, what is conflict? Let's discuss that. I don't mind discussing it, but it becomes, you follow, we're not moving. So, I see, is my desire the cause of this conflict? Perhaps it is. So I say, what is this tremendous urge in me for desire, wanting? What is how does that take place? Are you doing this with me? Huh?
Am I clear my inquiry is not another desire?
What?
Am I clear that my inquiry is not another desire?
Oh, maybe. I'm going to find out. What do you say to this?
So where does this desire, this wanting, stem from?
Yeah, find out, sir. See, take time to find out. Give yourself an hour to find out. What is this desire? To achieve God, to become a saint, to follow, to own a car, to have a beautiful desire. What is it?
What's behind it?
What is the root of it? The Christian church say, and the Hindus also say, no desire to reach God. If you want to reach God, no desire. And so the monks shake their head and contemplate on God. But so they don't look at a woman, they don't look at trees. You follow? So I have to find out. I am not going to let go and say, but I'll find out some other day. I want to find out within this hour or 10 minutes or whatever time I give myself, what is the root of this? Are you in that state? Do you want that? Well, Professor, no, please do answer. Would you, sir, would you give your life to find out? Your energy, your vitality to find out. Or you say, well, it doesn't matter, desire, I must have it, this and that. Do you want to find out, Shakuntala ji? Huh? Would you kindly answer? I'm asking you most respectfully. Would you want to find out? Because you started out talking about confusion, clarity. And you have been talking about for years. I'm not browbeating you, I'm not bullying you. And you keep on talking about it for the rest of your life. And they say, what a waste.
I feel that there's something missing in my inquiry.
Tell me, I'm delighted. I'm delighted if you tell me what is missing. I want to find out. Don't say I don't know what it is.
But it seems one always comes to a certain point and...
Where? What is your certain point?
Well, I come to the point where I see, escaping from conflict doesn't get me anywhere.
All right. So you don't escape.
Yes, but it still doesn't feel...
Which means what? You don't see the uselessness of escape. You still hanker after escape.
When one stays with it, when you start to escape and you see that you're escaping and you go back to it, it's still
no,
like
sir,
sitting on
I don't go back to something which I think is utterly meaningless.
No, but I mean the thing you're escaping from. When you go back to it, it's incredibly painful, that's why you've left it, perhaps. And then you say, maybe you even hear yourself saying, this is painful.
I don't know whether it's painful, but I've never looked at at the thing which I am. I'm always running away.
Yes,
so I say, don't let me run away. I say, I refuse to run. I know I want to escape. Because that may be more pleasant, but it brings havoc in my life. Right? Huh? So you've stopped escaping?
Krishnaji, what do you think gives the escaping all of its tremendous force?
Because I don't like what I see. Or I like what I see, therefore I stick to something.
Well, it seems more like
so don't complicate it yet. See it as simple as possible first. It gets very complex later, but see it at the beginning how simple it is. I see conflict must exist as long as I'm approximating myself with something, with my neighbor who's got better, more, or with somebody, comparing, judging. You follow? So, as I'm intent on stopping confusion, conflict, I say this is one of the reasons, one of the factors. So I say it is stopped. All right, sir? Are we together in this?
That is a deliberate act.
Let it be deliberate act. You see, you're all too damn clever. Let it be deliberate act. What's wrong with it? It's a deliberate act when I say I don't want to kill my neighbor. Whether he lives in Lebanon or Russia or here, I don't want to kill anybody. That's a deliberate act on my part. What's wrong? It's a deliberate act on my part. Say, look, oh boy, go to bed at 9:30. It's good for you. You need rest.
That's sure to produce conflict.
Huh? What?
That's sure to produce conflict. No.
I don't think so.
Have I come to that point in this discussion that I refuse to have escape? My intelligence says, don't escape, you fool, because it doesn't lead you anywhere. Have you come to that, please? Huh? Which means you have not escaped. Don't tell me, don't say one thing and do something else.
And unless we say that, we can't go any further, sir.
What, sir?
Unless we say that, we can't go any further.
Naturally. So I can go much further in myself. I say yes. I see very clearly escape is utterly futile. It is such a deception, dishonest. So I won't escape. It's finished. However enticing the escapes are. So I stick to that. It is so with me. Then I say, now, what are the other factors? In that factor measure, approximation means imitation, conformity. You follow? All that's involved in that one word. Then I say, is it desire? I say, probably it is. Because everybody has fought against desire. Right? So I say, what is desire? Why is my life guided by desire? Defensive desire and offensive desire. Come on, lady.
Could you explain what you mean by those two, Krishna?
Huh?
Could you explain exactly what you mean by offensive desire and defensive
Oh, yes,
desire?
sir. Desire to defend oneself. Desire to defend what one has built.
Wouldn't offensive desire always be the same
Huh?
thing? Wouldn't offensive desire always be the same thing?
The same thing. The country says we are all building for defensive purposes, armament. There is no defensive and offensive. It is armaments to destroy people. I don't want to, it's so obvious all this.
So the immediate response is that of one being left out because the whole society is based on that.
I don't mind being left out. My one total commitment is to dissolve this confusion. Nothing matters. But if you say, I can't commit myself totally like that, then you live in conflict. It's all right. But don't talk about freeing from confusion, all that kind of mess.
Krishnaji, is there one or are there a few principal desires? Not just one, the desire for a car or
Yeah.
are there a few very basic ones that
No,
cause us not to
there
look at
is no
ourselves?
basic desire.
You mean nothing you desire is fundamental?
A principal desire.
No. You see what you're all doing? You're not investigating into desire.
So you wouldn't call survival a desire?
What?
Self-preservation, survival, is that a desire?
No, that's a natural thing.
Or a natural thing?
Well, how about psychological security? Is that a desire?
Yes.
Well, that's what I mean.
You see, you're wandering away from, pulling me away from one thing. I want to understand what is desire.
But you see the very thing you're saying, I want to, it's just, when is it not?
Yes, I want to.
What's the difference
I want to.
and wanting?
Wait, you see, you've gone ahead of me. I want to understand desire.
That may be just a desire.
Maybe. So I say, what is desire? The very wanting to understand confusion may be desire. So I say, what is desire? Is it thought? You see, you don't. What am I to do? I'm going on. Will you join me?
Yes.
In the chariot race around Ben-Hur?
Can we say that physical sensation is part
Yes,
of
sir.
desire?
Yes. Go into it further. Is it thought? Can thought, listen, sir, can thought be separate from desire?
Desire can't work without thought.
Don't make a statement till you're absolutely sure through your investigation.
Well, there's obviously an element of projection in it.
So, which means what? Does thought dominate? And through that domination, desire arises? This little bit subtle. Take it slowly.
It seems to begin when you see something, and then thought seems to come in and say, I want it, or I like it, or...
So, you have discovered that?
Well, that's how it seems to me to begin.
No, no. What do you mean it seems to? Either it's so, you were all so hesitant.
So if you're hungry,
God,
your body and your mind want the food.
I see a marvelous shirt in the window. Lovely blue shirt. I don't want to go into all this.
No, not well, the blue shirt is but say hunger, physical hunger. You are having.
Yeah, yes, you carry on.
And your
Physical hunger.
Wants, needs food.
Wait a minute, physical hunger. But I say that hunger must be satisfied by eating yogurt, sweet things, this, that, and the other. So desire is more. I'm just asking,
You started earlier by talking about a vision of, say, order approximate.
Oh, I left it long ago.
But when it's a blue shirt.
What?
When we're talking about desire in terms of a blue shirt in the window, I can follow what goes on. I mean, there doesn't seem to be confusion about how desire arises there.
I'll show it. I'll show it. I will show it to you.
The confusion comes when...
There is no confusion. I'll show you the movement of desire. Will you follow it? Not verbally, actually do it. So, please understand this. We have talked about confusion for the last 4, 5 years. Confused. Right? Am I wrong?
You're right.
Huh?
You're right.
Good, applause. And why are you not free of confusion after 4 years? What's wrong? So I say, let's find out. I will go into it, but you don't go into it. I'm pushing you. Right, sir? Pucha, sorry, you're sitting next to me.
Can we not explore the movement of desire?
Sir, I'm asking you, why has desire become so strong in all of us? What is the relationship between desire and thought? Is that too much, too complicated?
No, it seems quite...
Huh?
I mean, the beginning of it seems quite simple. The beginning of desire seems very
What is the beginning of desire?
Well, to me it seems that, you look at something and, thought comes and says, I want that.
Yes. Now, wait, go slowly. What takes place when you say, I want that? Before you want that, what takes place?
I mean, there seems to be a contact between the object and...
Could you make, I'm a dull person, could you make it simpler for me? What is desire? How does desire spring? What is the source of it?
Krishnji, seems to be a movement towards what one is looking at.
Yes, what is that movement? How does that movement take place?
When you think about it.
Huh? Right?
When you think about it.
When you think about it, which means what? Does thought create desire? Go slowly, I'm asking, investigating. Don't answer it yet.
I can't see that different.
Huh?
I can't see it.
So you are saying desire is thought.
I can't see that different yet.
What do you mean?
So desire
Huh?
I can't distinguish them clearly in my mind, so...
We're going to distinguish it presently.
Say, looking at something doesn't seem to be a problem, but the tendency is to identify oneself with it.
Which means what? You make this, which means what?
I make pictures as to having what I see, what it will bring to me.
So, do you realize? I'm asking, in yourself you are asking, I'm not asking you. I'm asking myself as you must be asking yourself. What is the cause of this awful conflict in human existence? Why cannot we live together in this world without conflict? And I say, one of the factors of this conflict is approximation. That's clear. And have I dropped all approximation? If I have not, I say, look, I have dropped some, I have not completely dropped any. Therefore, I'm partially confused, partially not confused. It's like that stupid statement to make. I am confused, not partial confusion. Right? Huh?
It's all or nothing everywhere.
But it is so, sir. Don't make that statement. That makes him, my God, that's hopeless. But the fact is, I see that I am approximating. So that brings conflict. Therefore, my intent, my energy, my passion behind it all is to eliminate conflict and confusion. If this is the cause, I will do anything to get rid of it.
But then when one comes to a place where I think one feels one's own physical, or I don't know if it's physical, but one's own self is threatened.
You're going to find out. Be threatened. Be threatened. You see, you don't go into it. I'm threatened because perhaps that may be by this approximation, I'm strengthening myself.
Right. Desire as well strengthens yourself. I mean,
you see, sir, just a minute. We have not moved from that one point. What's wrong with me, psychologically, if I've moved from there? When I actually see, logically, reasonably, sanely, that approximation does bring about conflict. But that's so clear, verbally clear. And I will never say to myself, I am confused. I don't know what to do. I know what to do. Myself. You mean, say, we haven't done this simple thing after all these years? A simple fact. Is your intention, Shakuntalji, to be free from conflict? Or little bit of it? So if I'm confused, what am I doing in my life? Please, I'm not trying to depress you or elate you, but we started out discussing clarification of confusion. And we said conflict is the essence of it. And so what is conflict? Conflict is approximation with all its subtleties, with all its consequences, and is desire, conflict. So can desire be carefully looked at? Have I the time, the energy to give to the understanding of desire? Or are we all too occupied? We're never too occupied. You can give half an hour to look at desire, how it comes. So I begin to discover in my examination into confusion that thought and desire seems to go together. I'm not clear on that point, but I'm looking at it. Is thought separate from desire? It looks as though they were separate. But is that so?
What else could desire be?
What's that?
What else could desire be other than a movement within oneself of thought?
So you're saying thought is desire?
Yes, I mean, I can't see...
But don't escape.
Yes?
Stick to the, find out.
Yes.
Find out. What is the relationship between thought and desire? Is there a relationship? Or are the two separate?
When you ask me, what is desire?
I'm doing it now.
Right.
Now.
And I said, no, what is this thing desire? What do I use this word to mean? It means
want.
This feeling of wanting this thing.
Want.
Pardon?
Wanting. Desire
Yes.
means wanting.
Yes.
Lacking.
Mm-hmm.
I lack something and I want. I am not noble, but I want to be noble.
And what is this wanting? I mean, it's not like somebody touching you.
No, we're going to find.
Yes.
Give your mind to find out. How does a desire arise? Leave thought alone for the moment. How does a desire arise?
Well, almost without one knowing it, when it's suddenly...
I'm asking you now.
Yes.
How does a desire arise?
Yes.
I'm not going to let you go.
No, I'm trying to describe it.
Yeah. No, don't describe. Fine. Tell me how desire arises. Not the effects of desire. For this desire, for that. Desire itself, how does it come? Makes you look, makes you think, makes you observe.
Rishabji, is there somewhere something of physical movement, inward physical
yes,
movement in the breast?
I need food. I need clothes.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the very first thing that arises is some physical sensation, inward sensations.
Yes. So I'm asking, is it sensation? Hunger, right? There's a sensation. I have to feed it.
Yeah, that's what makes me aware of a desire.
Desire. No.
Well, that is what is desire.
Go slowly, old boy, go slowly. You're all too quick. So it is a sensation.
Yes.
Now, what is sensation?
It's in the nervous system.
I touch you.
Yes.
Hold your heart.
Right.
That's a sensation.
Yes.
Right?
And it feels like that, but it's not identified with the finger. But it's still
sensation. Huh?
It's feeling. Yes.
Now move from there. How does this sensation arise? I touch you.
Mm-hmm.
That's one sensation.
Yes.
Taste, seeing,
yes.
Hearing. Right? Those are all sensations. Right? Be clear on that. Touching, tasting, hearing, seeing. Right? So those are sensations. Now, with those sensations active, right? You look. You look at that car, right? So what happens then? Slowly, go slowly into it. You'll get it. You look at that car with all your senses. The seeing, the smelling. Wait, don't. You're all too quick. Go step by. The seeing, the smelling of it, the new leather, new upholstery, the lines, hearing the machinery work. It's all sensation. Right? Right?
Right.
Then where does desire come? Sensation is not desire. Yes. No, be clear. Be clear on this.
Right.
Sensation is not desire. Seeing that beautiful lawn is not desire. So where does desire come in?
But then, Krishnaji, we value some sensations more than others.
I'm not talking values. I'm just talking about sensation.
Right, I mean, you see it's a red colour itself.
Red colour, the touch of it, the smell of it, hearing the ticking over.
Yes.
There is sensation, all that. Right? But where does desire in there?
Well, in there isn't any.
No. So where does desire come in?
You seem to imagine yourself related to in that situation.
Which means what? Go on over, be simple.
Yes.
The mind stops to think about it.
But wouldn't it be nice if I had this
Which
car?
is what? You imagine you sitting in the car, driving it.
Right.
Huh? Which is what?
Then you decide.
Well, you're thinking about it.
Which means what?
Krishnaji, why does that step occur? If, for instance, one has these sensations, is it that the brain wants more of that sensation, and so it makes a picture of you driving in the car?
Right. Go into it. That is, seeing that beautiful new Porsche, 928, and there's only sensation there, right? I'm asked, go slowly. How does desire arise out of that sensation?
What I'm asking,
Krishnaji.
You get it, sir?
No, I was saying you see sensation of the Porsche, but if the rusty Morris Minor was standing next to it, you'd get a different sensation.
There's there's nobody in it. You're looking at it.
Yes, I see two different cars
No,
side by
I'm
side.
talking of the latest model.
The latest model.
Forget. You see a good, beautiful car.
Yes.
It is sensation. Right?
What do you mean by sensational or
You see,
yes,
you touch it,
yes,
you smell the leather,
yes,
you hear the tick of the car.
yes,
That's all sensation.
yes.
Where does desire come in?
When I relate it in the future to me.
What?
When I relate it to me.
No.
Or, in
Which
any
means
way.
what? Which means what?
It's pleasurable.
In the future.
Makes it.
It's pleasurable.
Don't you identify with it?
Change the time.
What?
You identify with it, you want to make it part of you.
Why does one want more of that sensation?
You're not. Look at it, sir. You're all making a lot of questions. Just look at it, step by step. You'll find out the answer. You see that car, you smell it, you touch it, you hear it. That's all sensation, right? Then where does desire come into this?
You think, how nice.
Which means what?
You're not equating with the memory of similar
Be,
experience.
exercise your bloody brain.
I'd like it to continue.
Which means, if I put it into words, you will see it, but I don't want to put it for you to see it.
I see it as when my mind starts to think.
There is only sensation, right? So far. And I'm asking, that's all right, but where does desire come into this? How does desire happen in this? Shall I tell you?
Thinking it.
Me getting into the car and driving, which means what? My thought says how nice it would be, right? No, see it, sir. Don't agree. See it. So the moment thought enters into sensation, you have desire, right? Have you found this out? Not my telling you.
So which raises another question.
No, don't raise another question.
No, if you follow through this.
I don't follow even.
No.
I'm stuck there.
I question it. What would be wrong with me visualizing myself sitting in the car? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Yes.
But I'm understanding desire.
Yes, but
there's nothing wrong if you can sit in a Rolls Royce or in a Ford.
It seems to me that the real crux of the thing occurs when I say I'll be all right, I'll be okay if I have that.
Which is what? Thought.
Well, it expresses itself as a sensation at that stage.
Which is, so you're missing my whole point.
Yeah.
If you had no thought, if thought doesn't come into this, then you merely have sensation. When thought comes into it, that begins the desire. I wish I had that car. You can't, the soul, right?
I just can't say if I don't have thought. I have to understand what thought is.
So I just forgot. Up to now, please go step by step. There is only sensation when I see a car. When sensation. But desire comes in when thought says, how nice for me to sit in that car and drive. The image thought has made me sit in the car and drive. Right?
Yeah.
Now not yes, it is so. You may expand it, give it, but the central factor is thought associated with sensation creates desire. That's a law.
Is desire then always in the sense of more?
More. Everything comes out of it.
Are you saying that any thought about the sensation is desire?
What's that?
Are you saying that any thought about the sensation is desire?
Oh, obviously.
No, I could go to a museum and look at the Cézanne.
Wait. I'll answer your question. I'll answer your question. Go to a museum. You see Picasso, I hope not. You see Michelangelo or somebody. What happens there? You don't say, I want that picture. Of course not. It's not yours. You can't have it anyhow. Wait, if you have money, you say, I'm going to buy that. But you go to the picture and look. There's a sensation. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll ask if any thought about that sensation occurs.
There is, please, any...
Say, be conscious, think about the picture.
More I can look. Maria, just look, please give me 2 seconds. Follow me. I can look at that picture. See the beauty of it. See the coloring, the depth, the whole thing, how it's put together. And all right, they're right. There's nothing wrong with it.
There is thought in that.
What?
There is thought in that.
Yes. No. Now this comes where? Is perception of that thing, why should there be thought in it? Now put it wrong the other way. Is beauty the act of thought? No, that's all. That's all. No. If you see that. Now, I won't go into this for the moment. We mustn't go into this for a moment. I want to stick to confusion.
Is recognition desire?
What?
Is recognition, if there's the sensation and I say, that's a car, or that's...
If I see, sir, if the brain sees the whole movement of desire, you follow? Sensation, thought, image, you sit in the car driving. That's the whole movement of desire. Right? What's the trouble? Why are you all hesitant?
There doesn't seem to be trouble about the car, but when it's something undefinable, say like order in this place, or some quality that isn't defined,
it brings in quite a different. What is order?
Well, we all disagree, and we all have this, what you started with, vision of it.
What is order? You say this is order, he will say that's order, I will say this is order. We are back again in the same business. I may consider what you're doing is total disorder. Or you may consider what I do is what's ridiculous nonsense. So we will. Huh?
Isn't it that we've thought about the object of desire so often that we just have to have the visual reminder of that object, and already the whole thing is in motion without...
Now go a little further.
Yeah.
Not tired? Now, can you see that when thought enters into sensation, there is desire, and not let thought come into it? You understand what I'm saying? You understood what I said? Even verbally, you understand, sir?
Yes.
I don't know if I made myself clear.
But sometimes it seems so fast that thought hasn't made its presence felt.
Thought is so quick.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, can you make that thought, can thought make itself slow? So sensation, immediate precipitation of thought with its image. Further,
yes.
Not only slow down thought, but to not let thought, but thought itself not allow to enter into sensation. You follow what I'm saying? It's real alertness of the mind. You follow it? It's 7:10. I can go on. I don't know, it's up to you. I'm not asking you to stay with me. It's up to you all. Say it's time to stop, I'll stop. At least let's get one point clear. Right? Which is...
I think it's clear what you're saying. I don't know whether we really grasp
What's
it
that?
within ourselves. It's
What?
quite clear what you're saying, but I don't know whether we're grasping it within ourselves. I don't know whether we ever will.
I don't quite follow what you're saying.
He doesn't think we'll ever understand.
What?
He doesn't think we'll ever understand.
No, I didn't say that.
So,
Look, sir, we've talked about confusion for years. My opinion against your opinion, my etc., etc. Can we stop comparing? Approximating. Can we stop that? Will you stop it? You understand? Don't stop it. What's the point of talking about confusion and clarity? Please, I'm not keeping you waiting. Students are waiting. Please tell me to stop. I'll stop. Right? Right?